The Boston Celtics, who fell behind early by double digits, they weathered that storm and then hold off a futile late push by the Dallas basketball team. And now the Celtics are on the brink of exterminating the Mavericks, a lowly number 5 seed. They are playing like it. What a joke the Mavericks have been in these NBA Finals. So Boston, one more win, and they get their 18th title. They win by 7. They were a slight dog on the road, Boston Celtics, and they win. They have a 3-0 lead in the NBA Finals. Now, Jaylen Brown, not only did he have the 30 points, he had 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Timing matters. His timing was pretty good. And so the Celtics have now extended a franchise record for success in the playoffs, which means something because they've had a lot of it over the years. 10 consecutive playoff wins now for the Boston Celtics. They are 7-0 on the road, trying to match the Kobe Shaq Lakers of back in the day that won all of their road games. Now, they can win the series, and they can do that on Friday, all right? Or Dallas can win. We'll go back to Boston. But the record for most championships, which is the Celtics franchise record, they'll tack on another title. But the better story is in the losing locker room, and so that is where we go. It's all about 6 degrees, not of Kevin Bacon, of Luka Doncic, who was bacon, and not the good kind of bacon. In this game, Luka fouled out with over 4 minutes to go in the final game. Game 3, fouled out. He fouled out of the game. And then he had the gall after the game. He implied that the referees were to blame for not allowing the Mavericks to play physical basketball. And he went on a rant, and he tried not to get himself fined, but he made it all about him. I've worked with people like that. So let us discuss the question. Luka Doncic thinks that the officials are to blame for the Mavericks not having a chance to win based on physicality. What is your verdict on this latest decree from the headliner in Dallas? My thoughts, I've got SpongeBob SquarePants, Circus Show, and the amazing Kreskin. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make jumbo-sized Cinnabons, which Luka can eat when he's at the airport when he's going on vacation. He can, which will be in a couple days. So, we'll start here. Luka sounding like an unhinged whack job. In fact, just to prove I'm not making this up, there's a little taste of what Luka sounds like when he goes on a little rant. Take a listen.
Luka, what did you think of the whistles that went against you in the fourth quarter?
I mean, I don't know. We couldn't play physical, so I don't know. I don't want to say nothing, but, 6 foul in the NBA Finals, where I'm like this. Come on, man. Better than that. Every time they draw it, basically call a foul, so I try to be better, so gotta get better.
Got to get better. All right, so he threw a well-timed but in there, and from the way we use dialogue, if you use the word but, everything before the word but is a lie. So he just said that, and then after that, that's what he really meant. But Luka's got a lot of chutzpah. Now, maybe my television's not that great. I don't know. I'm doing the overnight show, so I might not have the greatest TV, but it certainly looked like those were all legitimate fouls, and it looked like he could have been called for 7 or 8 other fouls throughout the game. So he's got a lot of chutzpah, as my grandfather would say. It was in the best interest of the NBA. Am I wrong on this? I think it was in the best interest of the NBA and the media partners of the NBA, the advertisers, for Dallas to win Game 3. Because then that brings a little bit of excitement into it, and you say you got a shot. You got a chance. So it wasn't like there was this grand conspiracy against Dallas. It would have benefited the sport, the business of basketball, for the Mavericks to win. All the juice has been emptied in this series now. It's all but done. Now, is there a path for the Mavericks to come back? Sure. Tatum and Brown could collide together, get injured, and both leave, and then it's a whole new deal. Strange things can happen. But we both know, more likely than not, it's toast, but it's not because of that. It's just because Dallas is not that good. Right? They're not. Luka Doncic is, at this point, a character from SpongeBob SquarePants when he's on defense. He's Gary the Slug. Remember those stories about, Luka's changed. He's no longer just a one-way player. No, he's a slug. He slows down to a snail's pace when on defense and selectively makes any kind of effort on defense. I've noticed this in this series, and maybe I should have noticed it earlier. I don't know. Maybe he's just doing it now. But it's like he picks his spots, and he'll play defense, 10% of the time, where he'll actually put some effort into it. And even on the possessions where he puts effort into it, he's always doing the old reach around. Well, not that kind of reach. But he's doing the reach around. He's trying to draw an offensive foul. And Luka, you are who we thought you were, and you're a liability on defense. He is. And then he has the standard conniption fit when he doesn't get the whistle, thus putting a larger spotlight. And a lot of these calls were easy. You don't have to be in the tank for the NBA to know, well, that's a foul. That's a foul. There's another foul. Boo-hoo-hoo. All right, now, page 2. One of the other storylines leading into this game was about the unicorn. You probably think unicorns aren't real because you're an adult, but in pro bouncy ball, there is one. He plays for Boston. At least he occasionally plays for Boston. But the unicorn was on ice. So what happened to the narrative that the Celtics are going to have issues with Kristaps Porzingis out of the lineup? Without him in the lineup, they were going to have a lot of problems. In fact, several well-known pundits told you there was little chance the Celtics could even compete in this series without Porzingis. So what happened is that take was a circus show take. It was a spinning plate, right? Balancing hope and fear. And this was always a contrived storyline by my fellow blowhards and gasbags. The Celtics have been a wagon. They continue to be a wagon, and they are playing with a fluidity. Whatever term you want to use, all cylinders, there's confidence there. There is no such thing as momentum. The Celtics don't have momentum because momentum doesn't exist. They're just better. But there is a report going around here from Woj that says there is real doubt about Porzingis returning to the NBA Finals because of his leg injury. That report is a dog whistle. He ain't playing, right? Boston only needs to win one more game. They will win that game without Porzingis, who essentially played one game. Well, he played most of game 2. Yeah. But his impact was in game 1, and that was it. And they could have won that without him. It's not like they needed him to win that game. Somebody else would have made those shots. All right, last word here. So now we go up to 10,000 feet in the sky, and we look down, and we say, who gets to wear the Texas-sized 10-gallon hat of shame for Dallas? So it starts with the aforementioned Luka Doncic. Starts with him. He's got to be the dumbest player in the NBA in terms of playing the game. Right? You have to be a statue when you're in foul trouble. Well, what about star players? They're not supposed to foul out star players. I get it. I understand. But when you whine and bitch on every call like Luka does, you're putting a bigger onus because these are still, I think, human beings. Maybe they're androids. I don't know. They look human. But when you get your 5th foul, that is a dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. You got to be a statue. Don't even try. And, Luka doesn't really try. So now he's like, well, I want to do the old reach around, try to get a foul. Instead of just being a statue, he's the leaning tower of Pisa. He's leaning in. You can't do that. You got to be the Statue of Liberty. Arm in the air, everywhere. Hold that torch up in the air. And so that was certainly the kill shot. Luka being an idiot and getting, making it easy for the referee to call a foul on him. But Dallas was unable to keep the fire burning. They had all the momentum, you idiots tell me. They had all the momentum in the first quarter. They're up by 13 points. They came out like the Tasmanian devil. Oh, man, were they great. Oh, they're on the broadcast. They're like, oh, if they can just stay within 10 by the time we get to the second quarter. I think it was like a 1-point game. And then many will say, well, it's the supporting cast. And I heard all these great things about the players around Luka and Kyrie. This is the greatest backcourt of all time, but these other role players were wonderful, and they'd stepped up. But I'm going to say the quiet part out loud because you're not going to hear this a lot of places. Both Luka and Uncle Drew got together. They huddled up. They rode the Vomit Comet. They went amazing Kreskin as the game progressed. And it's one of these things, if you just look at the box scores, well, look at the numbers. They're solid numbers. They are. But hocus pocus, losing focus as the game went on. They vanished for almost 11 minutes of game time. Dallas was leading 59-58 early third quarter. I jotted down a note. There was 9:33 to go in the third quarter. That's a lot of basketball. We get it. I understand. But it's a one-point game. From that point forward, they got outscored by 22 points, ended up down 21. How did that happen? Boston went on a 33-11 burner at that point, and it spilled into the fourth quarter. And in that stretch, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving shot a combined 33.3%, which is half the sign of the devil. They faded like flowers. All right, they faded like and Jaylen Brown, who he's already wrapped up the MVP. Does anyone disagree that he's the MVP? He's wrapped up the MVP honors on my ballot by outscoring Dallas in that stretch, the game-turning stretch. He outscored them 14-11 by himself. It was 33-11 overall, but 14 of those points by Jaylen Brown. And Brown then at the end, when things got a little closer, even though you never really believed the Mavericks could actually win, even when they were within 3 points of a tie. But Jaylen Brown helped calm the waters there in the final 3.5 minutes or